Hey again from the garden, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. Now this is going to be a relatively quick video, but I'm out in the dahlia patch and I was noticing that some of my dahlia plants that I have not yet pinched are ready for pinching. So I thought I'm going to pop the camera on and show you guys how I do this. Now, if you're not familiar with pinching, basically it means coming in and pinching the central stem of your plant, and it will promote branching and give you more blooms. A couple of other plants that I like to pinch are my snapdragons, which are in front of me, and then of course my zinnias. There are some plants that you specifically do not want to pinch, such as the pro-cut single stem sunflowers. So if you are not sure whether your plant can be pinched or not, either read the seed packet or the Johnny's Seed website is a really good source for that information. All right, let's head over and take a look at my dahlias. So here is a look at my dahlia patch. I have 5 different rows and about 108 dahlia plants total. Most of these tubers were planted directly in the ground. However, I do have one little patch of dahlias that's further along, and these were tubers that I pre-started inside or had taken cuttings for them, and those cuttings were rooted. So these have a little bit of a head start compared to some of the other plants. So I typically like to wait until my dahlia plants are about 12 to 18 inches tall to pinch. And you'll notice that the central stem of your dahlia plant is starting to get very, very thick. And it's actually hollow on the inside, which I'll show you when I trim these. But that's about the height that I like to wait to pinch them. And when you pinch it, and again, I'll show you this close up, you want to pinch it right above a set of leaves because that is where your plant is going to start giving you new growth and will branch out, give new stems and more blooms. So let me zoom in and show you an example. So here is a good example of a dahlia plant that is perfect for pinching. This variety is Diva, and you can see the central stem here, and as it goes up, there are leaves that come out to the sides, and then it just continues to grow up and have new growth. So I'm going to pinch it right here at this intersection, and actually there is already new growth starting there, so this is a perfect spot. So I'm just gonna come in with my fiskars and cut that out. This can go on my compost, or you could actually put this in rooting hormone and root this. I'm not going to do that, but now you can see that these 2 new growth points have nice room to grow, and they're going to continue growing, and that'll be the new growth that turns into the new branches of my plant. And I'm going to go ahead and go in and do that on the 2 plants next to it. So here's an example of one of my dahlia plants that I actually came in and pinched maybe about a week ago, and you can see the 2 new growth points have really grown out away from that central stem, and you can see that central stem is completely hollow. It's not going to hurt it, water will get in there, it'll be just fine, but that is how the plant ends up looking. And if we come to this one over here, this one had a really big central stem, and that is really hollow, but you can see from a side angle, those new growth points are really growing up nicely. Same with this plant here. You can see the central stem right here. That is what I clipped, and these are the 2 new growth points that are starting to grow upwards. So that is it. That is all it takes to pinch your dahlia plants. It takes no time at all, but it is definitely going to increase the amount of blooms that you get throughout the season. Yes, it may set the plant back from blooming for a couple weeks, but it's definitely worth it to increase those blooms. Dahlias are prolific bloomers and are what you call cut and come again. So the more that you harvest, the more blooms you get, and you want the biggest, fullest plants possible. I also will link these snips down in my Amazon store in my description. These are fiskars again. They're about maybe $16 to $18. This is what I use when I'm working on all of my cut flower plants and when I'm harvesting. They're super handy. So if you need a new pair of clippers, check these out. And that's going to do it for this video. And of course, stay tuned for a lot more throughout the whole growing season. I'm getting ready to film another garden tour for you guys because things have changed so much in the last 2 weeks. So watch for that. I hope you guys are having a great 4th of July holiday, and we will see you soon.